Hello friends, this is Jiasu Bakuhatsu, and welcome to Let's Play Ristar, the Shooting Star. This game was released in 1995 for the SEGA Genesis, and was developed by Sonic Team, actually, who are of course the guys responsible for making the Sonic the Hedgehog games. And so just to change things up a little bit, I'm actually going to be playing through the Japanese version of this game right here, just to show off some of the little cosmetic differences between this and the North American version, just to, change things up a little for you guys out there who are already familiar with the game and might want to see something different. First change that you'll notice off here is they've changed the story for some reason. This here is Oruto, the star goddess, who doesn't appear at all in the North American version. So another difference is that they took out all the text in the intro, or rather they added text to the intro for the North American version, but I'll explain the plot for you guys. Basically, this evil dude named Greedy's gone and taken over the galaxy, and the galaxy is not very happy about that, so they send off a prayer to the star goddess in the Japanese version, or Ristar's dad in the North American version. I don't know why they felt the need to make that change, but as a result, or I guess it's different between the two versions. In the Japanese version, Star Goddess Oruto sends her only begotten son, Ristar, to save the galaxy, and in the North American version, Ristar's dad gets kidnapped or something, and so Ristar's got to go and save him in addition to the rest of the galaxy. I don't know why they felt the need to change that. They even went through all the trouble of taking that graphic out of the intro. I don't know, it's weird. Another weird thing, they changed the text here. Catch used to be, or I keep saying used to be, this is the original version of the game, the Japanese release. They changed catch to grab from the North American release. I could go on listing every single minute detail about this game. I've played this game a billion times. This is one of my favorite games of all time, if that wasn't obvious already. And of course the other obvious change that's that they dropped the Shooting Star subtitle for the North American release. But who cares? Let's just play. Like I said, Ristar, amazing game in my opinion. One of the best, or certainly one of my favorite, if not one of my favorite games of all time, then certainly one of my probably top one or two favorite games of this console generation, the whole 16-bit. And take note of that rabbit there. I'm going to be talking about him a little bit later on. Oh man, having a little bit of trouble getting back into the swing of things, so to speak, no pun intended. So as you can see, the main mechanic behind this game is you've got Ristar's got his stretching grabby arms there, which you can use to just grab onto all sorts of things and swing from them and bash your head into things, and it's just a absolutely fantastic mechanic. I've gone on before about how much I love grappling mechanics in games, and okay, right here, might as well finish talking about this. So this game was released. Okay, I'm not going to hold on to this rabbit the whole time I talk about this, but so this game was, like I said, this game was released, or was developed by Sonic Team, and it was actually developed as sort of intended to be kind of a successor to the Sonic the Hedgehog games. They were sort of, Sonic the Hedgehog had kind of finished its run on the SEGA Genesis, and Ristar was going to be sort of the next big thing that Sonic Team did after that. And so what they ended up doing is they actually kind of reached back into their design archives, apparently. One of the early designs for when they were making Sonic the Hedgehog and trying to design a mascot character for the company. And one of their earlier designs during that process was dang it, oh well, I can still get back up there. They one of the early designs that they came up with was this rabbit with long extendable ears that could grab onto things. And so they ended up not going with that. They eventually somehow they mutated that into a blue hedgehog that can run really fast. But apparently they just kind of kept that design on file, and they sort of went with that idea of sort of the extendable grabbing appendages, and so that rabbit with the extending ears eventually sort of evolved into Ristar when they were they sort of carried that idea forward into their next game, which is perhaps a neat little bit of history. And so I always wondered if that rabbit with the extending ears there in the first stage had anything to do with that. If that was one of the earliest iterations of Ristar's design or something. Just a funny little thing I always wondered. And as you can see, another little difference from the North American version, the bonus stage items actually have their own little names here in the Japanese version, which is pretty nice. So yeah, all that distraction, I haven't really gotten to talking about the game proper yet. So as you can see, yeah, the grappling, you're sort of grabbing things with your hands is the main mechanic, and you can do a lot of things with that. You can, yeah, grab onto enemies and headbutt them, or you can headbutt into walls and just kind of repeatedly bounce your way up walls, which you saw a couple times there. Also, you can just grab and hold enemies, and that little bit, the little weird bit on the arms there is actually, I believe they fixed that for the North American version. I have never seen like that weird little bisected arm visual glitch there in the North American version, so I'm pretty sure they fixed that. But yeah, I just love grabbing onto these little chameleon things. Their little crazy dance that they do is just hilarious, I think. And yeah, speaking of, oh yeah, another little difference from the North American version, these little flying squirrels changed to bats. Excuse me, that just bit my tongue there. Yeah, changed the flying squirrels to bats for the North American version. Again, it's kind of weird that they went through. There was nothing wrong with the flying squirrels; they looked perfectly fine. But for some reason, they decided to change just like some of the most random things in this game. Oh, another small change that I've got to, and like I said, I'm just gonna end up listing all of the little changes if I just keep on going on like this, because like I said, I played this game to death. It's one of my favorites, and so for that reason, I kind of know every nook and cranny of this game to the point where I could actually point out to you like every minute detail that there is different between the two versions of the game. So, okay, I'll try not to harp too much on the little minor things and stick to the main changes. But yeah, so yeah, a lot of different things you can do with the whole extendable grabbing arms mechanic. It's just a very, very versatile tool that you really have. Oh, come on. Oh, there we go. And it's just something that I really like in games in general. I've talked before in other LP series about just how much I love sort of grabbing and grappling mechanics in games. Oh man, got a little bit of bad timing there. Oh god, come on. Okay, there we go. And of course, the reason I'm trying to swing off these enemies here is to try and get up to this bonus stage here. So yeah, I am going to be attempting to go for all of the bonus stages on this run, which shouldn't be too hard. Like I said, kind of good at this game. I've played the mess out of this, so going for the Twinkle Apple this time. This bonus stage is a great one to kind of show off exactly what I mean about what I mean when I've talked before about just sort of the freedom of motion and the fluidity that you can get out of these kind of grappling mechanics. Look right there. Okay, I kind of screwed it up at the end, but yeah, if you're like really down on your timings, you can get all the way to the top of that bonus stage there without even touching the ground. It's just fantastic once the level of just freedom of motion and the cool little tricks that you can do once you get good at the controls in this game. And of course you've got these little, oh man, you got these little star handles as well, which will let you kind of do a little shooting star attack, which is nice. And so you might have noticed, so if I'm so good at this game, why didn't I pick hard in the options menu? Well, the reason for that is hard mode in this game is kind of annoying, in my opinion. For one thing, they changed the amount of starting health that you get, which is actually not that bad. They start you with 2 stars instead of 4 like you get on normal. But the more annoying thing is that they changed the way these star handles work. So on normal mode, you can actually control like where you go. You can like just with the D-pad, you can control what direction you're going in after you fly off the star handle. But for some reason in hard mode, they took away that control. So it's like once you fly off the star handle into your shooting star attack, you just lose all control and you're just stuck on the trajectory that you went off in, which is really annoying, especially in some of the later parts of the game. Anyways, again, I'm kind of getting bogged down in the minutia of things. Oh, well, we'll get into like the meat of the game and why this is so good. And I mean, we've got plenty of stages ahead to get into all that. This here is the first boss, Riho or Riho, I think his name is. A pretty good showcase of something I really like about the bosses in this game, which is that. So I'm just kind of showing off his attacks here, but I could. So the way you're kind of intended to beat this guy is to, yeah, just wait for him to do his little snowflake attack, and then he comes down. And then you can hit him, or if you've got really good timing, you can just hit him right up above when he's at the lowest point in his little floaty cycle. You can just hit him right up there, and he like doesn't even get a chance to get off an attack right there if you do it just perfectly. And there's like that's something you'll see with a lot of the bosses going forward in this game is just just like, yeah, a lot of little shortcuts, the little tricks you can do to kind of speed things up a whole lot, and I just really like that. And yeah, here I am out of time already on the first stage already. I'm actually gonna just call it here. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next episode. And with that said, just listen to this awesome end of stage music. I don't want to talk over it, just listen to it. It's fantastic. See you next time.